You know, there's this invisible line that cuts right through the middle of Japan. It's a cultural divide so deep, it literally changes the way people walk, talk, and even how they eat. So today, we are going to decode the epic rivalry between Japan's two biggest cities, Tokyo and Osaka.
Okay, let's just dive right into this. If you've ever been on the Tokyo subway, you know the rule, right? You stand on the left and you walk on the right. Simple. But then you hop on the bullet train, go a couple hours west to Osaka, you step onto an escalator, and suddenly you're in everyone's way. People are giving you these looks. Why?
Because there, the rule is the exact opposite. Yeah, you heard that right. In Tokyo, you stand on the left. In Osaka, you stand on the right. I know, it seems like a small thing, but it's your first clue that you've crossed into a totally different cultural zone. And believe me, it gets much deeper than that.
Let's talk about something we can all get behind: food. Imagine you order a classic bowl of udon noodles in Tokyo. You get this dark, rich, super savory broth. Then you order the very same dish in Osaka, and the broth is light, it's golden, it's subtle. It's the same noodle in the same country, so what on earth is going on?
Well, here's the secret. None of this is random. It's not a coincidence. The escalators, the noodles, they are all clues, and they all point back to one single really powerful idea about what these cities were designed to do from the very beginning.
To really get this great divide, you have to look at what each city was built for. I want you to think of it like an urban job description, one that's been shaping everything for hundreds of years. And once you understand this one core function for each city, all those strange little cultural quirks, they suddenly make perfect sense. It really just boils down to this. First up, Tokyo, which used to be called Edo. This is the political and corporate capital. It's where the government is, it's where the emperor lives now, and it's where all the biggest companies have their headquarters. Its historical job is to make decisions and set the rules for the entire country.
Osaka, on the other hand, has always been the nation's kitchen, its commercial engine. This was the city of merchants, of rice brokers, of entrepreneurs. Its job wasn't to make the rules, its job was to make money.
And just to complete the picture, you've got Kyoto, right? The ancient imperial capital for over 1,000 years. Its job wasn't to decide or to earn. Its job was to preserve, to be the guardian of Japan's highest art, tradition, and culture. Okay, so we've got our framework: a city that decides, a city that earns, and a city that preserves. Now let's see how this actually plays out.
All right, let's circle back to that confusing escalator situation. How in the world does a city's job decide which side you stand on?
Well, it all comes down to a fundamental difference in logic. Tokyo's entire mindset is driven by standardization, while Osaka's is driven by pure practicality.
This slide really breaks it down. See, in Tokyo, the city of rules, the absolute priority is creating one clear, uniform system for millions and millions of people to follow. But in Osaka, the city of merchants, the logic is totally different. For them, it's all about efficiency. And since standing on the right is pretty much the global convention for a huge port city built on international trade, that was just the most practical choice. It's not about right versus wrong, it's just two different kinds of reasonable.
Okay, now for the noodles. This exact same difference in thinking goes right to the heart of Japanese food, creating this huge culinary border between the Kanto region, which is around Tokyo, and the Kansai region around Osaka.
So in Tokyo, they call their broth otsuyu. It's dark, it's salty, it's bold. But in Osaka, they call it O-dashi, and it's famous for being light, subtle, and clear. But why?
When you look at the ingredients, you can see the two philosophies at play. Tokyo's broth starts with a really strong base of bonito flakes and dark soy sauce. It's designed to add a powerful flavor to the dish. The Kansai broth, though, uses delicate kelp and a much lighter colored soy sauce. Its purpose is the complete opposite. It's meant to enhance the natural flavors of the other ingredients. This perfectly reflects the values of the cities: Tokyo's bold, top-down approach versus Kansai's focus on bringing out the best in what's already there. And this isn't just some ancient history thing. The divide is so profound that Nissin, the company that literally invented instant noodles, they produce their famous Donbei udon with two completely separate versions. There's a Kanto flavor packet for the East and a Kansai packet for the West. They know that one size fits all just isn't going to fly. So, we've seen how these historical roles affect daily life, from escalators to food. Now, let's tie it all together to see why these differences are so deeply embedded in each city's DNA. Okay, Let's break it down one last time. Tokyo, with its crazy concentration of people and power, is a city optimized for control and standardization. Osaka, born from commerce, is optimized for practicality and, well, making a profit. And Kyoto, the old capital, is optimized for preserving culture. These aren't just tendencies, they're like the basic operating systems of each city.
And this divide goes even deeper than food or escalators. It's literally in the language they speak. Linguistic research shows these super clear boundaries and dialects between the regions. The words people use, their accents, even their grammar, it all shifts, and it reflects these centuries-old cultural identities.
So it all boils down to this really simple chain reaction. A city's historical job forges its core values. Those values then create the everyday culture, the unwritten rules, the flavors, and the habits that make each place unique.
Ultimately, that escalator rule and the flavor of your noodles, they aren't just random trivia facts. They're direct echoes of history. They are the living, breathing results of what each city was born to do. It all connects.
And that kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What was your city's historical job? And what invisible rules, habits, and maybe even flavors has it left behind for you today?